The message reaches the captain directly. It is delivered face to face, not over the intercom. No alarm sounds, no announcement echoes through passageways. The information moves quietly through the chain of command as it has for generations. An officer has died. Outside, the ocean remains unchanged. Radar continues to sweep in steady rotation. Engine revolutions hold at assigned speed. Helm corrections are called and acknowledged. From a distance, the ship appears as it did moments before. But inside the command structure, something shifts. When a commissioned officer dies at sea, the effect moves through the ship in a particular way. Naval rank is not ceremonial. It represents authority over people, responsibility for decisions, and accountability for outcomes. Officers issue lawful orders. They sign evaluations. They carry command responsibility that affects everyone on board. Because of that, the loss is felt in more than one direction. Junior sailors may have known the officer only through formal inspections or briefings. Senior enlisted leaders may have worked closely with them during planning and execution. Other officers likely shared wardroom discussions, long watches, and operational stress. The wardroom is more than a dining space. It is where command decisions take shape. When one of those seats becomes empty, the absence is noticed immediately. There is also a structural consequence. When an officer dies during deployment, duties are reassigned without delay. Watch bills are rewritten. Department leadership adjusts. The chain of command changes slightly, but it does not fracture. That continuity is intentional. From the age of sail onward, fleets were built with succession in mind. Battle, disease, and accident could remove leaders without warning. Command authority had to transfer instantly. Modern ships operate under the same principle. The vessel must remain stable regardless of individual loss. The captain now carries two obligations at once. The mission must continue, and the officer must be honored correctly. Neither responsibility can interfere with the other. Naval deployment does not pause for mourning. Composure becomes part of leadership. Sailors watch the bridge closely in moments like this. Tone matters. Posture matters. Even routine commands carry additional meaning. Stability at the top prevents uncertainty below. Below deck, preparations begin in controlled sequence. Medical personnel confirm official documentation. Identification is verified against service records. Time and cause of death are recorded precisely. If the officer expressed burial preferences in official paperwork, those instructions are reviewed carefully. Personal effects are inventoried with care. Uniform components, insignia, watches, rings, notebooks, and photographs are logged and secured. Nothing leaves the compartment without written record. The body is transferred respectfully to a secure compartment. Modern warships maintain temporary refrigeration units specifically for this purpose, allowing time for coordination rather than urgency. In earlier centuries, burial at sea often occurred within hours due to climate and disease risk. Today, technology allows for deliberate timing, but discipline remains central. The burial detail is selected carefully. Members of the burial detail must meet strict uniform standards. Gloves are inspected. Shoes are checked for traction. If a rifle party will render volleys, weapons are inspected beforehand. Movements near the rail are rehearsed to account for deck motion. At sea, footing can shift unexpectedly. Precision and safety are equally important. These sailors are steady and precise. Many have practiced ceremonial movements during training. Few expect to perform them during active deployment for someone they served alongside. For a commissioned officer, uniform preparation carries added emphasis. Full-dress uniform is standard unless official records specify otherwise. Rank insignia must be exact. Service ribbons are arranged in correct order of precedence. Collar devices are aligned evenly. Buttons are polished. Shoes are shined again. The attention to detail is not for public display. It reflects internal standards. In naval culture, precision communicates respect. While preparations continue below deck, the executive officer coordinates with the navigator and operations officer to determine timing and location. Burial at sea is regulated by federal law and naval instruction. The site must be a minimum distance from shore and at sufficient depth to ensure permanence. Typically, this means at least 3 nautical miles from land and water deep enough, often 600 feet or more, to prevent disturbance. In certain coastal regions, deeper water is required. Modern GPS systems provide exact latitude and longitude readings. These coordinates are verified repeatedly and logged formally. They will later be included in the commanding officer's letter to the family. Burial at sea is also governed by the U.S. Navy regulations and Environmental Protection Agency guidelines. The location must meet depth and distance requirements to prevent disturbance by fishing, anchoring, or coastal activity. Coordinates are recorded in degrees, minutes, and seconds, entered into official naval logs, and forwarded through administrative channels. The record becomes permanent. The ship cannot suspend its defensive readiness. Lookouts remain posted. Tactical systems remain active. In some deployments, other vessels adjust formation spacing to provide security during the ceremony. Even in farewell, operational awareness continues. Even during the ceremony, essential watches remain manned. Combat Information Center continues tracking contacts. Engineering maintains propulsion and power generation. If a threat emerges, the ceremony can be paused immediately. Operational priority never disappears. The aft deck is chosen for practical and traditional reasons. It offers open water behind the vessel and safe clearance for committal. The boatswain's mate inspects the space carefully, ensuring that all equipment is secured and footing is stable. Formation spacing is measured so sailors stand evenly aligned. When the deceased is an officer, fellow officers stand prominently within the forward portion of the formation. This distinction is subtle but visible. Naval hierarchy continues to shape the moment. The captain selects his position apart from the ranks. He does not stand among them. His presence must represent continuity of command. The ship cannot appear leaderless. At the designated time, the internal announcement is made. All hands bury the dead. Sailors not on essential watch assemble quietly. Uniforms are neat. Posture is upright. No one requires instruction on demeanor. The meaning of the announcement is deeply embedded in naval culture. The body, draped in the American flag, is brought from below deck and placed carefully on the tilting board. The flag is arranged properly. The Union rests over the left shoulder at the head. Edges are smoothed against the wind. Final adjustments are made in silence. The ship reduces speed slightly to steady the deck and may adjust heading to minimize rolling. The ocean stretches outward in every direction. The boatswain's pipe sounds. Its sharp tone carries across steel and water. For centuries, this whistle has marked solemn transitions aboard naval vessels. The chaplain steps forward. Rank is spoken first, then full name, years of service. Significant assignments may be mentioned briefly. The language remains measured and restrained. The ceremony acknowledges duty rather than narrates biography. If the officer declared a specific faith, it is honored. If not, the language remains inclusive and dignified. Among those standing at attention are sailors who once served directly under this officer's authority. One of them may be standing his first watch without the voice that once corrected him. Some received evaluations from them. Some stood watch beside them in difficult seas. That shared experience remains unspoken, contained within posture and silence. After the prayer, the honor guard moves into position. The tilting board is secured at the rail. The body is lifted in synchronized motion. Every step is deliberate. There is no visible hesitation. Before committal, the flag is removed. 2 sailors lift it cleanly and begin folding immediately. 13 folds are made carefully and precisely. The final triangle reveals only stars. The folded flag will not enter the water. It will be secured and later delivered to the officer's next of kin. The flag is placed immediately into protective covering and labeled with the officer's name, rank, and date of ceremony. Chain of custody documentation begins at that moment. When the ship returns to port, the transfer is logged formally. There is no informal handling of the flag. When the flag is secured, the captain gives a small nod. There is no extended speech. The honor guard tilts the board smoothly. The body slides forward and enters the ocean. The disturbance lasts only seconds before the surface returns to its natural rhythm. If operational conditions permit, a firing party renders 3 volleys. 7 sailors align precisely, rifles raised in unison. The 3-volley salute is often mistaken for a 21-gun salute, but they are not the same. 3 volleys are fired by a rifle party and symbolize completion of duty. A 21-gun salute is performed with artillery and is reserved for specific high-ranking officials. Naval burial at sea follows the rifle tradition. If a bugler is present, taps is played live, its notes fading gradually into wind and distance. In some deployments, silence replaces the bugle. Salutes remain raised until the final note fades or until the captain gives the command. After a measured pause, he speaks. Carry on. Until that order is given, formation remains intact. Naval protocol requires a clear verbal dismissal before personnel return to duty status. Without it, sailors do not break position. The formation dissolves in orderly sequence. Sailors return to stations. Watch rotations resume. The ship gradually returns to full operational speed. Below deck, documentation continues. Personal belongings are secured. Coordinates are backed up in multiple records. Digital archives preserve photographs and video for family delivery. Within days of reaching port, the commanding officer writes a personal letter. It includes the date, time, sea conditions, and precise coordinates. Those numbers become the only fixed marker in a place without monuments. Historically, burial at sea dates back centuries. During the age of sail, officers were sewn into canvas weighted with shot before committal. Disease and distance made land burial impossible. Over time, ceremony replaced urgency, but the principle remained unchanged. The sea receives those who served upon it. For officers in particular, burial at sea often carries resonance. Many spent decades deployed across oceans. Their careers were shaped by life afloat. Returning to the sea becomes a continuation of that environment. On board, however, the mission never stops. Meals are served. Intelligence updates continue. Sailors stand watch through the night. From a distance, nothing marks the location where the ceremony occurred. There is no headstone, no plaque, no shoreline memorial, only coordinates. For the crew, the memory remains distinct. The pipe, the wind, the measured nod, the silence after the final motion. Burial at sea for a Navy officer reinforces a central principle of naval life. Structure holds even in loss. Responsibility persists. Discipline remains visible. The ship sails on. The ocean closes without trace. The record remains. And the officer's service becomes part of the vessel's history, carried forward not by monument, but by the steady continuation of command that defines life at sea.